Borderlands 4 optimization, absolute garbage, ridiculous, pathetic, dogshit, unacceptable, literally vomit. Guys, this is crazy. What is going on here? Well, very simple, very obvious. Many people are now finding out, and I said this in my previous video where quite a lot of people have criticized me, told me that I'm exaggerating, told me that I'm crazy, and yeah, I got lots of dislikes for telling the truth. But you know, now people have found out, and then when people find out, now people are like, ooh, yeah, so the game runs pretty shit on PC. That's exactly what's happening here. Now, I'm not saying the game is bad as the gameplay, because the game looks really cool and stuff, and you know, looks nice, yeah, but the problem is the optimization is so bad you cannot enjoy the game. This is what's happening with many people. This is from WZ Worms Gaming. This guy made an analysis with the RTX 590 playing everything on high, as you can see from his video, and he gets 45 frames per second. 45 frames per second in this video, and yeah, this is on 4K DLLA. All right, so this is the maximum resolution possible. I mean, maximum, you can go 8K, but that's just stupid, right? 4K effectively DLLA, and with the RTX 590, he can barely, the most strongest, the most powerful graphics card on the planet right now, you can barely reach 47, 48, 46 frames per second, and sometimes it goes down to 43 when there's like 3 enemies, and it's like cartoon graphics. It's freaking cartoon graphics. That is ridiculous, man. And you can see here in the settings, I mean, he says this is the full resolution, as you can see here, frame generation off, full screen, as you can see here, very high, so everything is very high, very high, very high, very high, shadow, so everything is to the maximum, right, with an RTX 590, and he can barely get, man, 47 frames per second. And he said in this video, he said, like, this is just redonkulous. You should be getting with this graphics card at least 120 FPS. That's the minimum for a 590, right? 590. Now, guess what? You can only achieve this if you apply, yes, DLSS. Of course. So with DLSS quality, you get to 75 frames per second. Hallelujah. Yes. So now, of course, you know, the game is better. Like you can see here, is more smooth. As you can see here, the combat is more smooth. As you can imagine, you get obviously almost double frames, right, with quality DLSS. Now, quality performance, sorry, DLSS performance, you get 100 frames per second. So you have to go all the way to performance, which basically puts a resolution of like what, 720p or something, or 180p, I think, right? They just, and then it upscales it, right, and makes it look nice and pretty, right? Which, yeah, just look at this here, man. Yeah, you get sometimes even on performance, man, when the world is big and massive, as you can see here, and there's enemies and stuff, like in open areas, it goes to 82 frames per second. That's just crazy. That is in 79, 80. Like, what the hell is going on, man? And now, when we go frame generation, this is it. When you go 2 frames, it goes to 140 frames per second. So this is why it should have been with the 590 at DLLA. This is why it should have been 140, 130 frames per second without the DLSS and without the frame generation. But now these companies are so freaking lazy. I mean, look at this. If you go to 4 frames, so you generate 4 fake frames, and DLSS performance, you can get 250 frames per second only with that. So basically, if you don't have the state-of-the-art graphics cards, the 50 series, this game is not gonna be so comfortable on PC. Even on consoles, I've seen people complaining, but obviously now we're talking about Shutterlands, as people call it on, sorry, Stutterlands, as people call it on PC. So we have the reviews. We have the reviews from people, and man, it's terrible. I mean 40%, well, 39% of people have said they are completely dissatisfied. That's a huge amount of people. That's literally like almost half, right? Gameplay is fun, but the crashing and frame issues on a pretty beastie PC, even at lower settings, is pretty unacceptable for a $70 game. Other than performance issues, gameplay is exactly what you expect from Borderlands. Look at this, 3080 Ryzen 9, playing at 180p, and during fights is capping out around 35 to 24 frames per second. And I'm pretty sure this person is using the DLSS, of course, right? Game looks great and is fun, but they really should have waited a few weeks to let the polish happen and not push it out on the way it is. Also, even on the easy difficulty, a lot of mobs feel like bullet sponges. It runs like absolute garbage. Cannot recommend this game until they fix the performance issues. My system reaches a maximum of 50 frames per second in combat on medium settings with DLSS turned on performance mode. I refuse to use ultra performance since it massively impacts visual clarity. So you have, there we go. So the optimization of these people, Gearbox, they said, we don't care about optimization, because people have the 590 or 580 or 50 series, so let's just let them use the frame gen, create fake frames, that's fine, you know, people will be okay with it. It's like, turns out people are hating it, right? Because, you know, not that many people have a 50 series, very few people actually. Ryzen NVIDIA RTX 390, by the way, mine is 380, so this person even has even stronger graphics card than myself. And then look at that, man, 50 frames per second. First Borderlands game I have ever rated down. It's very underwhelming. The magic is gone. I have a 590, and the newest Ryzen 3DX with more than enough RAM. The game crashes now and I am over the 2-hour played. Had no issues playing it until the latest patch, trying to see if I can get a refund since most time was spent trying to get the game to run instead of actually playing. AAA titles on Unreal Engine 5, wonder if the companies will learn. Game runs okay, much better than Borderlands 3, played it on a couple of days ago. Stuttering can happen, but nothing like a 3. The bigger problem is how heavy this game is. At DLSS performance mode and frame gen on a 490, it struggles to stay at around 120 FPS. Shocking. Turning down settings doesn't seem to do much, so I doubt people with lower end GPUs are having a great time. Definitely needs all the performance patching. Listen up, Randy. The biggest issue, however, are the frequent crashes or soft locks, as I call them. Half the time you go into the menus, you don't know if you make it back out of them, as that is where the game frequently locks up when closing the menus. Not acceptable at all, Randy. Surely this was known prior to launch, but same old publishers publishing release dates. Yeah, I guess sadly cannot recommend the state. Cannot recommend until they fix the performance. No reason a 3080 Ti can't do 180p. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. Like, well, if you defend this slop, like, that's the thing, like, if you have the balls to defend the shitty, crappy, disgusting performance and tell people, well, you know, you have to buy a RTX 5090, get good, or something like that, right? That just shows, like, you are so delusional, you don't understand what's going on. Like, companies are taking advantage of people so much that now, to be able to play this game on PC, you have to, like, cough up like $1,000 to get a 50 series RTX. Otherwise, if you have a 40 or a 30, you are going to, yeah, you're still gonna be able to play it, but it's gonna have lots of issues, stuttering. And if you have a 30 series, for example, you have to go all the way to performance. If you have a 40 series, you have to go to medium to enjoy the game being quite stable. That's just crazy, man. I mean, what is going on, man? Rating is unfortunately based off performance because it runs utterly terrible, as simple as that. This one has a 12900K and 3090 Ti. I get 60 FPS regardless of the settings. Everything on low, 60 with insane stutters. Max it out, 60 with insane stutters. I was able to tune the settings to fix the stuttering at around high to very high settings, but I'm still dipping to 30 to 45 frames per second when it gets crazy. I'm so tired of these UE5 games performance and visual issues that this will be the last title I even tried that's UE5 at launch, my bad. It's just not worth it. I'm sure with time the performance will improve, but I'm sure I can speak for everyone. in saying that we are all more than tired of these dreadfully optimized stinkers at release. If you want $70 for a game, then do better. You're getting put to shame by Silksong, made by developers who actually care. The game is pretty fun so far. I have a lot of positive to say about the actual game, but the performance is making it impossible to fully enjoy it. So since Gearbox decided to hold off on making a playable demo, I'm going to hold off on actual review. So yeah, people are really disgusted with this, to be honest. Like, there's obviously people commenting and stuff, but yeah. Honestly, man, this is just disgusting. Like, I cannot believe, like, we are seeing this. Yeah. 260 getting smooth 60 frames on low settings, yeah, with DLSS turned on, of course, and 180p and everything on low. So that's the thing, like, you have to now play this game on low, super low, if you have anything other than a 50 series, which is just shocking. Like, that should not be happening, man. Like, it's just not, like, no, like, please, Gearbox and other companies, like, why are you doing this? Look, if you go for, even this one, if you go to 2K, 590, 2K, and the LLA, alright, you still get only 65, 70 frames per second, even at 2K, on a 590. That's unacceptable. Again, that this is not something you should be celebrating. This is not something you should be saying, well, it runs good, 70 frames per second, so that's pretty good, bro. Yeah, buy the game, bro. Like, no, this is really bad, man. And again, I know there's going to be lots of people in the comments who are going to be putting lots of hate and telling me that I'm exaggerating, that I'm a hater. Guys, I just want the best for gaming, man. And this is not the best. Like, we are being released $70 slop. And people are buying it, and many people are defending this. Like, how much of a fanboy do you have to be to ignore this and just say, that's fine, there's no problem, you know, you have to just get a better graphics card, you know, you're poor. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments saying that. And people who say that, I'm very sorry, but you are so delusional. You do not understand what's going on. It's because of people like you who defend the slop that we are getting more slop. Because, you know, if people buy this shit, why would companies even optimize their games? Like, why would they do it? Like, people just buy it and then people just play their slop. So they're like, well, you know, people are happy with crappy stutter games, so let's just let them enjoy it, right? Do you see? This is the problem. If you don't take action and basically speak up and tell the truth, and, you know, it will never change. Like, AAA companies will keep abusing people because they believe that people will take it, and that's the problem. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. Again, utter disaster land. I knew this was gonna happen. In my previous video when I talked about it, people were shouting at me, telling me I'm crazy, etc, etc, and now the truth has come out. Even this person, look at this, $4,000. I mean, look at this, $4,000 PC versus Borderlands 4, still below 60 FPS, max versus high, right? Yeah, just buy a 590 and quit crying. Like, this is it. This is what, again, this is what these fanboys, right, who are delusional, are doing to the system, to the world. Like, what the hell, man? Like, it's just like, why? Like, I don't understand, man. Like, why are these people thinking? Like, I don't understand why some people love defending a corporation which literally does not give a shit about them and wants to rinse them of their money as much as possible. And you have these fanboys, same as when what happened with Nintendo with the patent, right? And lots of fanboys came and said, oh, we don't care, you know, yeah, you know, you should just, you know, whatever, because it's Nintendo, you know, defend Nintendo to death, right? And you have these fanboys who are like literally like that. Like, I don't get, man. I just don't get what these people are on about. But yeah, this is it. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about, man. Is exactly what I'm talking about. This is disgusting, man. People defending this shit and saying, we just buy a 590 and stop crying, YOLO. It's like, bro, like, disgusting, man. Disgusting. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Also, this one, for example, this person here testing, like this is, for example, 2K native max settings with a $4,000 PC, and you get what, 65 frames per second? You get 65 frames per second, man. 65. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So good. Nice. Oh, great. So yeah, doesn't matter. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next videos. Bye.